Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why some people seem to rise above every challenge, while others barely make it through the day? Two people can go through the same storm, same setbacks, same losses, yet one person grows stronger while the other feels crushed. What makes the difference? Is it intelligence? Luck? A privileged background? No. It's something far more powerful, a positive mental attitude. Now, let me clear something up. When I say positive attitude, I'm not talking about pretending everything's fine when it's not. I'm not talking about slapping on a fake smile while your world is falling apart. This isn't about blind optimism or ignoring reality. No. A positive mental attitude, what I call PMA, is a force. A spiritual power. It's the ability to look through the fog of difficulty and still move with clarity, with courage, and with purpose. Think about it. Life is not fair. It will test you, break you, and sometimes leave you on your knees. And yet, some people refuse to quit. They stand tall when others fold. They keep walking when others turn back. Why? Because they've built something on the inside that life can't take away. That's what PMA does. It gives you the inner strength to keep going when everything outside of you says stop. And here's the truth, this attitude is not reserved for the lucky few. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. It's a choice you make every single day, to control your mind instead of letting the world control it. To believe in possibility even when circumstances scream otherwise. So let me ask you, which person will you be? The one who drifts through life, surviving, or the one who rises, who leads, who refuses to break? Because the answer to that question begins right here, in your mind. Let's get one thing straight, success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about where you were born, what school you went to, or how much money you started with. The real game changer? A positive mental attitude. And no, I'm not talking about just thinking happy thoughts. I'm talking about something deeper, something unshakable. Positive mental attitude, or PMA, is not wishful thinking. It's a discipline. It's a force. It's a mindset so rooted in purpose and faith that even when the storms of life come crashing down, it doesn't flinch. It sees through the chaos and moves forward anyway, with clarity, courage, and conviction. Some of the most iconic figures in history built their legacies on this. Think about it, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. These weren't men handed easy lives. They didn't succeed because they were lucky. They succeeded because they had the mental armor to keep showing up when others quit. They didn't run from failure, they studied it, learned from it, and turned it into fuel. And that's what makes PMA so powerful. It transforms your relationship with adversity. It turns setbacks into lessons, and failure into feedback. It's not that these men were fearless, it's that their purpose was greater than their fear. They chose to believe that the struggle was shaping them for something greater. And they were right. So here's the question, what's your attitude when things go wrong? Do you collapse? Do you complain? Or do you rise with purpose? Believing that even this moment is preparing you for a breakthrough? Because the truth is, your mind, when directed with intention, can become your greatest asset. That's not just motivation. That's history. And if it worked for them, it can work for you. Let me ask you something important, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Right now, what's controlling your mind? Is it faith, purpose, gratitude? Or is it fear, doubt, resentment? Because here's a truth many people overlook, your mind is never neutral. It's always under the influence of something. If you're not intentionally guiding your thoughts, something, or someone, else is. Maybe it's the noise of social media, the opinion of someone who doubted you, or even an old belief you picked up years ago. But if you're not in control, you're being controlled. That's why mastering your mindset is not optional, it's essential. The moment you take full ownership of your thoughts is the moment your life starts to shift. You see, Your mental attitude is the one thing in this world that you, and only you, have complete and unchallengeable control over. No one else can take that from you. But you have to claim it. This truth is powerful. But it's also uncomfortable. Because it confronts our excuses. It leaves us nowhere to hide. If you're constantly feeling stuck, discouraged, or overwhelmed, you have to stop blaming circumstances and start auditing your thinking. Are you feeding your mind faith? Or are you feeding it fear? The mind will believe what it's told repeatedly. So if your inner dialogue is constantly negative, you're creating the very reality you're trying to escape. But flip the script, start speaking life, strength, clarity, and you'll begin to attract what you need to rise. You weren't meant to live in mental chains. But the key isn't out there, it's inside you. And once you choose to lead your mind instead of being led by it, everything starts to change. Here's the truth most people miss: you can't develop a strong, unshakable mindset without purpose. Not just any purpose, but one so clear, so powerful, so magnetic that it pulls you forward even when life knocks you down. Think about it, have you ever tried to stay positive while feeling aimless? It's exhausting. That's because the mind, without direction, drifts. And when you drift, you become vulnerable, not just to distractions, but to fear, doubt, and negative influence. Drifting invites the world to decide your path for you. And let's be honest, the world isn't always kind. But purpose is different. Purpose anchors you. It gives your struggle meaning and your pain perspective. When you know why you're waking up every morning, when you can feel it in your bones, you stop needing motivation. You start showing up with vision, with fire, with a sense of mission that others can't quite explain. Let me ask you, what's your reason? What's that thing you want so badly you're willing to suffer for it? What dream burns so fiercely inside you that even failure feels like part of the journey? You see, purpose isn't just about what you want. It's about who you're becoming along the way. A man with a purpose can take hits and keep moving. He doesn't crumble at the first sign of resistance, he leans in. He doesn't wait for the perfect moment, he creates it. Because clarity of purpose is more than a motivational slogan. It's fuel. It's armor. It's the light that cuts through the fog of fear. So if you want real power, don't just ask for strength. Define your purpose. Burn it into your mind. Let it shape your decisions, your habits, your life. Because once your purpose is clear, everything else starts to fall into place. Let me say something that might change how you see your inner world. Negative thoughts aren't visitors, they're invaders. And like any invader, if you let them in, if you entertain them, they won't just stay quietly in a corner. They'll spread. They'll take over your peace, sabotage your purpose, and convince you to quit on the very thing you were born to pursue. That's why you need to treat your mind like sacred ground. You must practice what I call cosmic housekeeping. That means taking inventory of your thoughts the same way you'd protect your home. You wouldn't leave your front door wide open for strangers to walk in. Right? So why do we let doubt, fear, resentment, and worry sneak into our minds unchecked? Start catching those thoughts. Notice when your inner voice whispers, "You're not good enough." Or "What if you fail?" Stop them like a criminal at your door. Don't entertain them. Don't debate them, replace them. Replace fear with gratitude. Replace doubt with vision. Replace weakness with the truth that you were born with strength, purpose, and power in your DNA. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing what voice you let guide your life. You are not a passive listener to your thoughts, you are the editor, the gatekeeper, the leader. Every single day, your mind is building something. The question is, are you building strength or building stress? Are you stacking bricks of purpose, or piling up walls of limitation? You were not born to live small, and you were never meant to be ruled by fear. So protect your mental space with the same energy you'd use to protect your dreams. Because the moment you stop treating negative thoughts like harmless guests, and start calling them out for what they are, That's the moment you take back your power. Have you ever heard someone say, "I'm just not a positive person"? Maybe you've even said it yourself. But let's get one thing straight, positivity isn't something you're born with. It's not a trait in your DNA. It's not luck. It's a skill. And like any skill, it's built through repetition. You see, your environment has been shaping your beliefs since the day you were born. The words spoken around you, the experiences you've lived through, the people you've looked up to, they've all programmed your mindset in one way or another. Some of that programming may have served you, but some of it's been holding you back. But here's the good news, what has been learned can be unlearned. What's been programmed can be rewritten. Just like a song stuck on repeat. Your thoughts are looping every day. The question is, what's playing? If your inner voice is filled with doubt, fear, or negativity, it didn't get there overnight, and it won't leave overnight either. That's where repetition becomes your greatest tool. Repeating positive, empowering beliefs rewires your brain. Just like lifting weights builds muscle. You become what you say to yourself, over and over again. So start saying things that fuel your strength. Even if you don't feel it yet. Say it until you do. I am capable. I am focused. I am resilient. I am growing. These aren't just affirmations, they are instructions to your subconscious. Laying the foundation for your new identity. Every word you speak to yourself is a brick. And your beliefs, they're the walls you live behind. If you want to change the structure of your life, change the sentences you're repeating inside your mind. You are not stuck with the mindset you inherited, you are powerful enough to build the one you need. What if I told you that the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself? It's true. Your internal dialogue, the words you repeat in your mind every day, are either building you up or tearing you down. And that's where the power of autosuggestion comes in. It's not some mystical idea. It's a practical, proven tool used by some of the greatest achievers in history. It means speaking power into your subconscious, deliberately, consistently, and with emotion. Here's the truth, your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. Whether it's truth or lie. Whether you whisper, "I can't," or you roar, "I will." Your subconscious takes it as law. And it acts accordingly. That's why you can't afford to let your inner voice be random or reactive. You must program it, daily. You must speak your purpose with fire before the world gives you a reason to. Not when things are easy. Especially when they're not. Because belief doesn't show up on its own. It's forged through repetition. Take 5 minutes every morning, before the chaos begins, to speak life into your purpose. Out loud. With clarity. With conviction. Say things like, "I am resilient. I am prepared. I attract strength and opportunity. I expect greatness because I'm building it." And if that voice of doubt tries to creep in, speak louder. Drown it out with truth. Say it again and again until your subconscious accepts it as reality. Remember, the subconscious doesn't change through feelings. It changes through words, repeated with emotion. You don't wait to believe. You train yourself to believe. You don't wait to feel powerful. You declare power, and let your emotions catch up. The man or woman who trains their mind every day becomes unstoppable, not because they never face fear, but because their inner voice always speaks louder than it. Let me tell you something that most people overlook when it comes to success. A positive mental attitude means nothing without self-discipline. It's easy to say, stay positive. But without control over your time, your habits, your thoughts, positivity fades the moment pressure hits. Discipline is the bridge between what you believe and what you build. It's the structure that transforms dreams into results. Without it, even the strongest mindset will drift. Think about it, how often do we feel motivated, yet fall back into old patterns because it's just easier? Comfort is seductive, but it's a trap. Discipline, on the other hand, is your path to freedom. The most successful people in history, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, didn't just rely on talent. They mastered themselves. They showed up consistently. Especially on the days when it would have been easier to quit. Why? Because they knew this simple truth: you can't hold on to a powerful mindset if you're a slave to weak habits. So ask yourself right now, what do you tolerate that keeps you average? What distractions steal your time, your energy, your focus? What comforts have you clung to that are quietly robbing you of your future? If you want to build a life that means something, one with impact, purpose, and depth, you must make a decision. Choose growth over ease. Choose showing up over sleeping in. Choose reading over scrolling. Choose speaking vision over complaining. Every time you make one of those small decisions, your inner strength grows. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about direction. It's about choosing who you want to become, and honoring that choice through action, even when no one is watching. So the next time life tests your resolve, remember, your breakthrough isn't on the other side of comfort. It's on the other side of discipline. That's where greatness lives. Here's a truth you need to hold on to: every setback you faced wasn't there to stop you. It was there to shape you. But whether it becomes your downfall or your breakthrough depends entirely on one thing: your mindset. The most powerful people in history didn't rise because they avoided pain. They rose because they learned how to grow from it. What if you started to believe that every failure carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit? That your pain is not punishment. It's preparation. That your delay is not denial. It's protection. Let me ask you, when was the last time life hit you hard? Maybe it was a financial loss, a betrayal, a missed opportunity. And in that moment, it felt like everything was falling apart. But looking back, didn't some of your greatest lessons come from those moments? Didn't some of your deepest strength get built in the dark? This is how champions think. They train their minds to say, this pain is growing me. This setback is redirecting me to something better. And this wait, it's making me stronger for what's next. You see, adversity is life's invitation to evolve. If you accept it, if you lean into it instead of running from it, you'll find yourself becoming someone you never thought you could be. Someone unshakable. So when life tests you again, and it will, don't curse it. Don't shrink. Say to yourself, I was made for this. I rise when others fall. I find opportunity where others see defeat. That's the kind of mindset that not only survives storms, it uses them to climb. And that, my friend, is the secret to turning adversity into an advantage. Here's a truth that may change how you see everything: you are not a victim of what happens to you, you are only a victim of how you choose to respond. Two people can face the exact same hardship. One crumbles under the weight. The other stands taller because of it. What made the difference? Not the event. Not luck. Not timing. It was attitude. You see, your attitude is the lens through which you experience life. It determines whether pain makes you bitter or better. Whether betrayal builds walls or stronger boundaries. Whether loss defines you, or refines you. When life slaps you across the face, and it will, you get to decide: will I curse this moment or bless it as the teacher it is? Will I drown in resentment or rise in wisdom? A positive mental attitude, PMA, doesn't pretend things aren't hard. It just refuses to let the hard things win. It's not about blind optimism. It's about choosing strength over surrender, clarity over confusion, and meaning over misery. Think of it this way: every challenge is a question. Your attitude is the answer. Will you shrink or stretch? Will you react or rise? This isn't just theory. It's how great people are made. They look life in the eye and say, you don't get to break me. You get to build me. So, the next time you face adversity, and you feel yourself slipping into anger, blame, or despair, pause. Remind yourself, this moment does not define me. My response does. And if you choose to meet life with courage, with resilience, with that deep fire of purpose, you become untouchable. Not because life is easy, but because your attitude is stronger than anything it throws at you. That's power. That's transformation. That's how suffering becomes strength. Let me tell you something most people overlook. Your environment is either your fuel, or your downfall. You might have all the right intentions, all the right goals, and a strong will. But if you're surrounded by negativity, it's like trying to sprint through quicksand. Willpower is powerful. Yes, but it's not invincible. Not if you're drowning in toxic influences, bitter voices, or people who mock your dreams. Think about it: if you spend your days around people who complain, criticize, and never believe in growth, how long do you think your vision can survive? Your mind is sacred ground. What you allow in, through your ears, your eyes, your conversations, plants seeds in your spirit. Some of those seeds grow into confidence, faith, purpose. Others? They grow into doubt, fear, or resignation. So ask yourself, who are you listening to? Who do you spend time with? Do they lift you up or wear you down? If you want to build an unshakable mindset, you need to be ruthless about your environment. That means surrounding yourself with voices that speak life, people who challenge you to grow, who see greatness in you even when you forget it yourself. It also means filtering out the noise. Be intentional with the content you consume. Read things that inspire. Listen to those who've walked the path of purpose. Limit exposure to gossip, cynicism, and the constant drip of mediocrity that poisons so many. Because here's the truth: your environment shapes your energy, and your energy shapes your results. You can't shine if you're always standing in the dark. So protect your mind like you would a precious garden, because what you plant and what you feed will grow. Choose wisely. Your future depends on it. Here's a truth most people never realize: you don't need permission to step into your power. Not from your boss. Not from society. Not even from your past. All you need is a decision. A decision to own your attitude. A decision to stop waiting and start leading. Because the moment you take full responsibility for your thoughts, for the energy you carry, for the story you tell yourself, that's the moment your destiny begins to shift. Too many people live like passengers in their own lives. They wait for the world to change, for the right time, for someone to give them the green light. But the ones who rise, they don't wait. They decide. They say, "This is my mind. These are my thoughts. And from this moment forward, I lead them." That's the beginning of real power, not external control, but internal command. Think about this: your attitude determines your altitude. It decides how you see challenge, how you face failure, how you respond to life's storms. And no one can choose that attitude but you. So, what will it be? Will you let fear dictate your thoughts? Or will you take the reins and guide your mind with clarity and courage? You don't need a fancy title to become a leader. You don't need perfect circumstances to feel strong. You need only one thing: a decision. And once you make it, everything changes. The world begins to respond. Not because it suddenly got easier, but because you got stronger. So decide. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Decide now. Decide that your attitude is yours to shape. That your future is yours to write. And that no matter what comes, you will rise, not by chance, but by choice. That's how greatness begins. Let me ask you something simple, but life-changing. What do you want so badly, so deeply, that you're willing to suffer for it? Because until you can answer that, your mind is like a ship without a compass, adrift, vulnerable to every wave of distraction, doubt, or fear. But when you anchor your life to a clear, burning purpose, everything changes. That purpose becomes your North Star. It gives direction to your thoughts, clarity to your actions, and fire to your spirit. Without a definite aim, people wander. They try this, dabble in that, and wonder why they feel unfulfilled. But purpose, real purpose, it sharpens you. It becomes not just something you chase, but something you become. The great achievers of history, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they didn't just set goals. They lived their purpose. It wasn't a side project, it was their identity. It was the reason they woke up with intensity and faced setbacks with courage. Their purpose gave them something no obstacle could take away: relentless drive. So what's yours? What makes your heart burn with conviction? What dream pulls you forward, even when everything else is trying to hold you back? And here's the secret: it doesn't have to be grand in anyone else's eyes. It only needs to be meaningful to you. That's where the power is. Once you define it, write it down. Speak it aloud. Visualize it as already done. Revisit it daily. Because a vague desire creates a vague life. But a clear purpose, it commands your mind, focuses your energy, and silences distractions. So today, don't just wish. Don't just wonder. Decide, define, and commit. Because once your purpose is locked in, your mindset becomes unstoppable, and your life begins to move with power, precision, and meaning. Your attitude is more than a mood, it's your armor and your weapon. It protects you from life's blows, and it empowers you to fight for your future. But here's the truth: if you don't actively guard it, the world will chip away at it, piece by piece. Think about it. Every day, you're exposed to negative voices. Some come from outside: criticism, toxic people, media designed to provoke fear and outrage. Others come from within: self-doubt, victim thinking, the inner critic whispering, "You're not enough." If you allow those voices to settle in, they will. And before you know it, your attitude, your shield, is cracked. Your drive weakened. So how do you protect it? You become intentional. You cut off negativity like a warrior disarms an enemy. You choose your influences the way a soldier chooses armor, with care, with purpose, with your future in mind. That means limiting time with those who drain your energy. It means tuning out media that plants seeds of fear. It means silencing the voice inside that makes excuses instead of progress. And most importantly, you take full responsibility for how you respond to life. Because while you can't always control what happens, you can control what it becomes. Every challenge can either make you bitter, or better. That choice is yours. So the next time life tests you, and it will, ask yourself, am I guarding my mind? Am I choosing power over pity? Am I responding like the leader I was born to be? Because your mindset isn't just protection, it's your sword. With it, you can cut through fear, doubt, and distraction. Without it, even the smallest obstacle can knock you down. So guard it, sharpen it, and lead with it. That's how unbreakable people are made. Let me ask you something honest: what are you feeding your mind every single day? Because just like your body needs the right fuel to perform, your mind needs nourishment too. And not just any kind: powerful, uplifting, truth-filled fuel. You want to build a legacy? Start by feeding your thoughts with greatness. Read biographies of giants. Speak affirmations that light a fire in your soul. Fill your ears with truth, courage, and clarity. Why? Because fear has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. Fear whispers that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you'll fail and never recover. But here's the truth: failure doesn't stop most people, fear does. So what if we removed the fear of failure altogether? What if you decided, right now, that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process? What if you believed that every setback is a setup for your next breakthrough? That kind of belief doesn't come by accident. It comes by choice. It comes by practice. And it starts with action. Act with certainty. Even if your knees shake. Speak with power. Even if your voice trembles. Move with faith. Even if the path isn't fully clear yet. Because when you do, something shifts inside you, and around you. People start paying attention. Opportunities start opening. And your own doubts begin to fade. The world doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to confidence. And confidence isn't arrogance. It's alignment. It's saying, I know who I am. I know why I'm here. And I refuse to let fear decide the size of my future. So today, begin your final charge. not just for yourself, but for the legacy you're building. One thought, one action, one bold step at a time. Because your mind, fed with greatness and fueled by courage, will carry you further than fear ever could. So, let's pause and take it all in. If you've made it this far, you're not just a casual listener, you're a warrior in the making. You've just uncovered her blueprint that most never even realize exists. A mindset that's opportunity-focused, purpose-driven, grounded in discipline, and absolutely unshakable. You now know that success doesn't belong to the smartest or the luckiest, it belongs to those who refuse to quit. You've learned that a burning purpose will anchor your spirit. That fear is the real thief of dreams, not failure, and that feeding your mind daily with truth is not optional, it's vital. But here's the thing, these principles only work if you work them. That means every day. You wake up and you choose. You choose strength over fear, discipline over distraction, faith over doubt. You choose to lead your mind, not be led by circumstances, opinions, or past wounds. And now comes the final challenge, the one only you can answer. Will you decide? Will you rise when it's easier to retreat? Will you speak strength when it would be simpler to stay silent? Will you act like a person who already knows that greatness is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice? Because if you do, if you really commit, then let this be your declaration from this day forward. I am unshakable. I am unstoppable. I am unbreakable. Say it. Feel it. Own it. Because once you decide to live with that kind of mental attitude, the world will no longer push you around. You'll stand rooted, while others fall. You'll create impact that outlives your name. And that is the beginning of a life not just lived, but mastered.